I was feeling very nervous, but also confident because I've jumped 5'2" before, and in my head that's not that much, it's just 1 inch. But yeah, it was my third attempt, so I'd already missed two, and you only get 3 tries, so it's kind of make it or break it moment. So I was very, very nervous. So I set up just like any other jump. I did a few, I guess I rocked forward and back just to kind of get myself mentally prepared. And then I went in, I turned, or I did the curve, I don't know, and then I jumped right up and over, and it felt very smooth, almost as if I was flying through the air. And when I hit the mat, I was very, very excited because the bar did not fall. I was ecstatic, as the video might show. I was kind of jumping up and down, and I sprinted over to all my friends to celebrate with them because I seemed to have collected quite a fan club of younger kids that were just cheering me on. So I went right to that. I was like, and a lot of coaches came up congratulating me, which was very cool.
It was a blast.
Go ahead.
We did it in Boston, and they took us to New York, and we were on the stage in New York with that movie.
And Tribeca.
In Tribeca, which was a trip and a half. Really fun.
The movie, it took place at the State House when we were fighting for marriage equality. A lot of people were very opposed to legalizing same-sex marriage. So it became a fight within the legislature, and we had to convince our state reps to vote no on an amendment to the Constitution which defined marriage as between a man and a woman. The legislature had to vote over in what they called a constitutional convention. It was pretty even. Those opposed, those for. We were at the State House, going from office to office, knocking on doors, saying, we're a gay couple, why can't we have the same benefits, like insurance, et cetera, et cetera. The reps liked us because we weren't intimidating. Some of the younger folks, especially the guys, they were very intimidated by, but we were able to calm them.
Yeah.
What up, I'm Nate, and this is College Sports Review. We'll be looking at the New Year's Six Bowls. First up, the College Football Playoff semifinal, the Cotton Bowl, which is number 1 Alabama and number 4 Cincinnati. I think Alabama will blow out Cincinnati. I said Alabama would blow out Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl. They did. They won 27-6. Although it wasn't as good as an offensive game that I thought they would have, they still came out on top by 3 touchdowns. Second is the Orange Bowl, which is the other College Football Playoff semifinal between number 2 Michigan and number 3 Georgia. This will be a closer game, but Georgia will pull out. Next up, the Orange Bowl between the number 2 Michigan Wolverines and the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs. I thought it was going to be a lot closer of a game, but Georgia blew them out. 34-11 was the final score. Third is the Rose Bowl between number 6 Ohio State and number 11 Utah. Ohio State will be hungry after their loss to Michigan. They'll come out and beat the Utes. Next up, the Rose Bowl. I thought Ohio State would come out hungry, and they didn't come out that good, but they ended up pulling out the win in one of the best Rose Bowls of all time. Final score is 58-55. Jackson Smith-Njigba had an incredible performance with 347 receiving yards. Next up, the Sugar Bowl between number 7 Baylor and number 8 Ole Miss. Baylor looked good in the Big 12 championship against Oklahoma State. That's why I'm taking them over Ole Miss. Next up, the Sugar Bowl between number 7 Baylor and number 8 Ole Miss. I thought Baylor looked good against Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. They did come out with the win, as I predicted, 21-7. Next up, the Fiesta Bowl between number 5 Notre Dame and number 9 Oklahoma State. Notre Dame's looked good ever since their first loss of the season. I think they take this dub. Next up, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl between Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. I thought Notre Dame was going to win. They had the lead for a long time, but Oklahoma State ended up having a good comeback and winning by 2 points, 37-35. Last up is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl between the number 10 ranked Michigan State Spartans and the number 12 Pitt Panthers. Michigan State's going to take this because of Kenneth Walker, and Pitt does not have their superstar quarterback and Heisman finalist, Kenny Pickett. Next up, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl between the number 10 Michigan State Spartans and the number 12 Pittsburgh Panthers. I thought Pitt wouldn't have a chance without Kenny Pickett. They kept the game close, ended up losing 31-21, even though Kenneth Walker didn't play for Michigan State. Thank you for watching College Sports Review.
Do you remember when you were 3 years old, just learning to walk and playing outside and getting a scrape on your knee, or spilling a juice box? Now answer this. Do you think 3-year-old you would find this scary? On today's episode, we bring to you the controversy of a Teletubbies episode that was deemed so scary it was banned. I'm your host Ryan, and this is the Uncovered and Undiscovered. This Teletubbies episode was called Seesaw, and it started out with the Teletubbies and friends watching a jazz band. But after watching the jazz band a second time, they were introduced to the scary lion and bear. After the lion and bear were introduced, they began to play a game of tag. The bear was running from the lion. Many times in the episode, the bear peeked around a corner and had a very simple yet eerie face. The lion, the main reason the episode was banned, had a very deranged smile with jagged teeth. And throughout the episode, he used a very deep and eerie voice. This episode of Teletubbies was banned in the United States and many other European countries from even being aired on TV. So what do you think? Would 3-year-old you be scared of this? I'm your host Ryan, and this is the Uncovered and Undiscovered.
Welcome back to Maday's Maynard Breakdown. I'm your host, John Maday. Today we're going to be looking at how the girls basketball team attacked a full court press against Clinton. Clinton's running a full court press defense, which means that they're going to be playing defense the entire length of the court and not just when the ball crosses half court like most defenses usually do. This is done to put pressure on the offense, but this also creates opportunities for the offense to exploit this by attacking one-on-one matchups and utilizing the entire length of the court against the defense. When Maynard inbounds the ball, the Clinton defender is going to move in to attack. This means that the inbound man is going to be left wide open so they can pass the ball right back to her. There's the inbound, the defense tries to put pressure at the point of attack, and the defense is going to swarm to collapse. When Maynard passes the ball back, these two Clinton defenders are going to move in to try to trap the player with the ball. This is done to, again, put more pressure on the offense than just having a one-on-one. However, because this is a double team, it also means that someone's going to be left wide open. In this case, Maynard's going to be able to move the ball up and pass the ball here. When this defender vacates her man to try to play defense, she gets left wide open. There the defense swarms and she's able to get the ball. When she does get the ball, this puts Clinton's defense in a tough situation as Nina Chiodo is going to be driving from the sideline, but they also have a man in the corner, putting this defender in conflict as she has two choices, but only one decision. So someone is going to be left wide open. Here she stays in the middle of the court, meaning a nice pass to Chiodo allows her to drive. This again puts her in a 2-on-1 situation, as she can either come up and try to play at the point of attack, leaving a potential backdoor cut here, or Maynard can drive and take a layup. There's a good pass, and she's not quite able to close out as she gets too much space, and Maynard's able to finish at the point of attack, easily defeating the full court press by having good ball movement. That's all for this episode of Maday's Maynard Breakdown. I hope you enjoyed the first girls basketball breakdown of the season, and I'm looking forward to doing more. I've been John Maday, your host of Maday's Maynard Breakdown, and I'll see you next episode.